Hare Krishna. Prayerfulness is the reinforcer of prayer, not its replacer. Some people say that prayer is a state of being. It is not something that you do, like you take beads and chant the mantras. It is something that you are constantly. Yes, this description of a state of being absorbed in God, absorbed in the divine, refers more specifically to prayerfulness, not so much to prayer. So prayerfulness is definitely a very advanced spiritual state, a state that all of us should aspire for. At the same time, we also need to know that just like all other aspirations, it requires effort to actualize the aspiration. It is not that just by wishing we can immediately become absorbed in God, we can immediately become prayerful. Actually, prayerfulness is a state of absorption that can come, a state of inner absorption that can come only by outer cultivation, by outer engagement in activities that connect us with God, activities such as prayer. Consider, to understand this principle of absorption, let's consider another more common example from daily life. Some people are cricket maniacs. Now they're lost in cricket. Now how do they become so absorbed in cricket? How do they become so cricket full? That is by watching cricket, by playing cricket, by talking, discussing cricket, by reading cricket, by dreaming cricket. So the more their externals become engaged in cricket, the more their internal also becomes absorbed in cricket. Now those who don't externally engage themselves in cricket in any way, their internal absorption will not be there only, and even if it is there, it will fade away. So of course there is a big difference between cricket and God, but the human psychology works in similar ways, whatever be the object towards which it is getting connected and absorbed. Now actually it is as compared to getting absorbed in cricket, getting absorbed in God requires much greater effort, because actually our consciousness at present is largely attracted towards external sensory things. So because cricket is perceivable at the sensory level, so our consciousness gets attached to it quite quickly. But God is at present not perceivable to us at the sensory level, and that is why getting absorbed in Him requires greater effort. Now of course it's not just requiring greater effort, it gives greater reward also. Absorption cricket may give us some temporary temporary pleasure whenever there are moments of celebration in a cricket match, but apart from that, even if one is in love with cricket, at the time of death it is destroyed. In contrast, absorption in God is eternal. God exists everywhere, so once we develop our absorption in Him, we can absorb forever in Him, always, wherever we are, and eternally. But still the point is that because God is not perceivable to us at external sensory level, we need more effort to absorb ourselves in God. So that's why we need to engage in external activities such as prayer, using chanting the names of God, for example, with beads, so that this prayer invokes the presence of God. And we need to go to temple where the presence of God becomes manifested to us as his deity. So now the more we engage ourselves in such activities externally, then from outer inward our consciousness will become permeated with the presence of God. Now significantly, the Bhagavad Gita in 9.14 states, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dudhavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Satatam kirtayanto mam, always chanting my glories. Yatantascha dudhavrataha, engaging, endeavoring with great determination. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya, my devotees, or with devotion, bowing down to me. Nityayukta upasate, nityayukta, constantly engaging in my devotional service. So essentially this point is saying, this verse is talking about very advanced spiritualists, and it says they also engage in kirtan. So tatam kirtayanto mam, always. Now kirtan is a form of collective prayer. So it's not that so for them praying is not a means to becoming absorbed in God. They are already prayerful because of their advanced spiritual state. Still they engage in prayer externally also. Why? Because for them prayer is a expression of their prayerfulness that further intensifies the prayerfulness. When the emotion, the devotion is expressed externally, then that expression intensifies the emotion. So the relationship between prayer and prayerfulness is thus symbiotic. So when we engage in prayer, our prayerful mood develops, and when we have a prayerful mood, then that increases that naturally expresses itself as prayer. Now, if we think that we can bypass the seed of prayer and simply relish the fruit of prayer, then we are actually deluding ourselves. All that will happen is that our consciousness will stay entangled in external material things. Instead, if we cultivate, if we engage in prayer diligently, then we can relish, then our heart can be enriched with the supremely empowering presence of God, and we can attain a state of constant prayerfulness where whatever we do is imbued with the presence of God. Thank you. Hare Krishna.